All right, if you've ever worked in procurement or sales, you know the feeling I'm talking about. The proposal review cycle. It's this high pressure, kind of chaotic world of endless documents and subjective arguments. So let's jump right in and see if we can bring a little bit of sanity to that madness. Does this feel a little too familiar? It's that sensation of just being completely buried. You're literally drowning in dozens of different vendor proposals. They're all formatted differently, hundreds of pages long, and every single one is demanding your immediate attention. It is a massive headache, and as you're about to see, it eats up an incredible amount of our most valuable resource, time. And when I say a lot of time, I really mean it. We're talking about anywhere from 20 to a whopping 80 hours spent on a single review cycle. Now think about that. That's up to 2 full work weeks for one person just trying to compare documents and get everyone to agree on a single decision. It's a huge drag on resources that just slows the whole business down. And this whole chaotic process, well, it has a name. Proposal Pandemonium. It's that old school manual way of looking at bids. And you know what? It's just broken. It's a system that honestly creates more problems than it actually solves. For so many teams, this is just their day-to-day reality. You're not really a manager at this point. You're more like a spreadsheet archaeologist. You're spending your days digging through all these different layers of data that someone typed in by hand, trying to figure out what it all means, and just hoping, praying, you don't miss that one critical detail that's buried somewhere on page 73. It's not just boring work. It's a recipe for mistake. And you can see here, these challenges aren't just little annoyances. You've got this insane volume of documents, which of course leads to people just scoring things based on their gut feelings. This whole thing creates these high-pressure, totally unpredictable review cycles, where somebody is bound to make a mistake. And maybe the worst part of all? After it's all said and done, there's usually no clear paper trail to explain why a certain decision was made. But here's what's really fascinating. This massive headache isn't just a problem for one side of the transaction. Nope. Both the people buying the service and the people trying to sell it are stuck in the exact same frustrating loop. So, you've got the buyers over in procurement, and they are struggling to do fair, apples-to-apples comparisons. They need data to back up their decisions. Meanwhile, on the vendor side, you've got sales teams living in constant fear that they'll be thrown out because of one tiny missed requirement. And they almost never get clear feedback on why they lost, so how can they ever get better? It's just this shared cycle of pain. Okay, so this is where a totally new approach comes into play. Instead of trying to make some generic tool like a spreadsheet solve this really unique problem, a specialized solution has popped up, one that's designed from the ground up just for the world of proposal reviews. So, what is bidhawk.ai exactly? Well, to put it simply, it's an analysis tool. It uses AI to do all that heavy lifting for you. Comparing your requirements document, your RFP, against all those different vendor proposals you have to wade through. And here's something I think is really important about the whole philosophy. This isn't another huge, complicated software platform that's going to force you to change your entire process. No, it's designed to do just one thing and do it exceptionally well. Support your existing process, not tear it down and replace it. And the impact is just incredible. It's all about speed and focus. We're talking about taking those weeks of painful manual review and turning it into a task that literally takes a few minutes. The process itself could not be any easier. It's really just 3 steps. 1, you drag and drop your requirements document. 2, you drag and drop all the vendor proposals you need to look at. 3, you click a button, and in minutes, you get a super detailed analysis. That's it. No complicated setup, no long training session. And this is where the magic really happens. The AI doesn't just give you some vague summary. It hands you a clear roadmap by breaking down every single requirement into these categories. You see, compliant, that's a green light, you're good to go. Needs negotiation, that tells your team exactly where to focus their discussions. Subjective, that flags all that fluffy marketing talk that needs a real human to look at it. And of course, non-compliant shows you exactly where the gaps and the risks are. It's like an instant action plan for your team. So if we pull back and look at the big picture, this AI-assisted approach totally reshapes the entire review process. And the great thing is, it creates these really clear advantages for absolutely everyone involved. The most obvious benefit, the one you feel right away, is time. I mean, look at this. By automating that first pass, you can cut down your review and decision cycles by up to 60%.
What used to take weeks of meetings and debates now takes just minutes to get a first look that's actually backed by data.
But this right here is probably the most important thing to remember. The goal is to support your team, not replace them. The AI gives you the data, the analysis, it tells you where to focus, but it's the human experts who bring the context, the strategy, and who make that final call.
When you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. We are moving away from manual spreadsheets and gut feel scoring and into a world of specialized AI and objective, data-backed insights. Instead of sitting through endless internal review meetings, you get an automated ranking that lets your team focus on the stuff that really matters: strategy and negotiation. At the end of the day, it's all about working smarter, not harder. It's about taking your most valuable asset, your team's expertise, and letting them focus it where it's actually going to have the biggest impact.
Think of it like this. You get to escape what we call the messy middle. You know, that swamp of manually copying and pasting data and trying to compare things. The AI takes care of all that grunt work, which lets your experts jump in at the most critical moments to negotiate, to strategize, and to make that final, really well-informed decision. So just to sum it all up, for buyers, you get faster, more consistent, and completely auditable evaluations. You can figure out who your best vendors are in just a few minutes. And for vendors, you can actually use this to head check your own proposals before you send them, fixing any gaps and seriously boosting your win rates by making sure you're perfectly aligned with what the customer actually asked for. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. For most companies, proposal review is a bottleneck. It's a slow, painful process that pretty much everyone dreads. But what if? What if you could flip that completely on its head? What if that exact same process became your secret weapon, your strategic advantage that makes you faster, smarter, and more decisive than any of your competitors?